Magic Circle class for you today. Some standing arm work and move into some leg work. So if you have a magic circle, go ahead and grab it, or if you have a ball or something else you want to use, that will work too. We're going to start in just a standing neutral. Ankle bones, knees, inner thighs squeezing together, shoulder blades down the back, everything lifting up nice and tall, crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. Again, ankle bones, knees, upper and inner thighs are squeezing together. Bring the magic circle out in front of your chest. Bend at the elbows. They go wide to the side. Heel of the hands are on the magic circle, fingertips forward. We're going to take a nice inhale, squeezing, and those ribs expand, and then exhale as you release through that circle. Inhale, and exhale to release. So it's a squeeze and a resist to open. We're not just letting that magic circle twang open. Big squeeze and release. Again, be mindful of your inner thighs, low belly sinking up and in. Shoulders relaxed. Last two. And one to hold that squeeze. And then little pulses in, and in. Last set. One more big squeeze and release. All right, I'm going to bring that magic circle straight out in front of you. Just make sure you're not hyperextended through the elbows. Just have a little soft bend so the bony parts of the elbow pointing out to the outside of the rim, and then squeezing in and release. Won't get as much squeeze as you do with those elbows bent, working through the biceps, squeezing through the pecs. Big squeeze and release. Last two, and one to hold that squeeze, and little pulses in, just thinking tighter, tighter. Last four. One more big squeeze and release. All right, we're going to lift the magic circle up overhead. We're going to drop it down around the eyebrows. So our fallen angel. Okay, so that halo's down around your eyebrows. Elbows are back and wide. Make sure collarbones are nice and open, shoulders down the back, and squeeze in towards your ears and release. Big squeeze. Again, inhale to squeeze. Slowly release it back open. And two, and one to hold it in and squeezing tighter, tighter. Pulsing breath. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. One more big squeeze and release. We lift it up and lower all the way down, rolling those shoulders back. All right, we're going to take it behind the head, opening through the chest. Elbows are squeezing towards each other as well as those shoulder blades. Heel the hands at the top of that magic circle, fingertips pointing down towards the floor, zipping through the belly and squeeze. Again, won't get much squeeze here, but you're trying, working through those triceps and squeeze and release. Feeling those biceps and those triceps as well. And really going to squeeze those shoulder blades together. You'll want to drift forward and squeeze in, hold, and then see if you can pull your elbows back a little bit more, belly up a little higher, and little pulses in, and in. Last four, three, two, one, and one more big press and release. Good. Roll those shoulders back. Good. Let's take a moment, take that magic circle up. Little circles around, releasing through those shoulders, and then reverse. And then we'll switch hands and take it back, back. Just make sure there's nothing behind you that you're going to knock off the table or anything. And then we're going to reverse that circle for three. There I go, hitting my fan. Two, and one, and then we're going to take it to the side. So we're going to take it onto our right hip or waistline, wherever that kind of works for you. Just move my little microphone there a little bit. Get right on that hip bone. And then in between the elbow or the wrist. And then we take a moment here, feel that whip through the collarbone, press down through the lats. So you feel those muscles right underneath those arms, right above that bra line, and squeeze in and release. Make sure your fingertips are relaxed, no tension through those fingertips. Big squeeze and resist. Feel that connection through the lats, through that underarm, maybe even touch it just to feel those muscles. Might even feel your obliques here working. Then squeeze and hold, and then little pulses in. We go 12 little pulses. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. One more big squeeze and release. So we're going to take it to the other side. So again, balance on that hip bone or that waistline, and then in between the elbow and the wrist. Again, just depends on the length of your arm. Find that comfort. And then again, check in, collarbones wide, and squeeze in. Big squeeze, slowly release. Your inner thighs still connected, belly button scooping up and in. 2, 1 to hold. Again, check in, and little pulses in, and in. Last 4, 3, 2, 1, and one more big press. Did you feel your obliques? And release. Good job. All right, I'm going to take it up overhead. We're going to go back behind the head. So I like to make sure that that magic circle is touching my upper back. Tendency would be to have it drift forward, so keep it touching and then bring those elbows wide. Fingertips are pointing behind you, heel and hands still on that magic circle, and then squeeze in towards your ears and release. Again, you should feel that magic circle touching your upper back the whole time. Squeeze in, opening wide through those collarbones, zipping up through the bellies and through the top of those inner thighs. When we squeeze the top of the inner thighs, more of that pelvic floor will connect. Working through your core the whole time, and squeeze in and hold, and then check in, and little pulses in, and in. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. One more big squeeze and release. Lift up and reach it forward. Rolling those shoulders. Good. Release all that tension. All right. We're going to go into a little plie series. So you're going to open your feet to a Pilates V, or an external rotation. So make sure that rotation is coming from the wrap of those thighs, squeezing through the sits bones. And then we're going to plie, bring the magic circle out in front of you, and lift up. Take a little peek, make sure you can see your big toes. You know those knees are tracking right over the middle of the feet. So imaginary wall behind you. All right, head, shoulders, hips in line. With those heels, resisting up. Press out over those feet and zip up. Last 2. 1 to hold, and little pulses with those legs. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze all the way up. All right, we're going to hold the legs stable. Magic circle is going to stay right in front of you. You should be able to look through that magic circle the whole time. Rotate to the right. So here, check in. Make sure you can still see through that magic circle. You haven't let it go beyond your chest, right? And then we come back to center. And then rotate. Here, you're going to check in with the hips. Make sure that that hip hasn't come with you. Those knees haven't bent. You keep everything forward and center, okay? So continue those focuses of the hips staying stable. Magic circle in the center of your chest. Squeezing through those inner thighs. From those heels, back of the knees, all the way up through those sits bones. Stable through your pelvis. Rotating away from your opposite hip. One more each side. Last 1, adding on, rotate to the right. Lift that magic circle up overhead, come back to center, reach it out in front of you, and rotate. Try to lift it over the top of the head, arms in line with the ears. Rotate center and reach forward. Rotate, lift, center, and reach. Rotate, lift, center, and reach. Rotate, lift, center, reach forward. Last time, ribs. Lift, center, and reach forward. Good. All right, we're going to open to our parallel position. Externally rotate again. Lift up through the heels to rotate to parallel, and then externally rotate one more time. Going into our second position, plie. Again, take a little peek. As you bend, make sure your knees are tracking right over the middle of your feet, and then lift all the way up. Plie down. Again, imagine your wall behind you. And think of yourself being on the reformer, so your head, shoulders, bottom, ribs, and tailbone would be on that mat or against that magic or that imaginary wall behind you. And then check in with those inner thighs. As you're lifting up, make sure that you feel your heels gliding towards each other. So even though they're not moving, you're pulling them towards each other to work the inner thighs. Plie down and hold. And again, little pulses. Down, down. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Static hold if you can. Lift the right heel and then the left and lower. Lift the right and the left. Lift the right and the left. One more. Lift the right and then the left. And now lift both heels and lower. Lift both and lower. Both and lower. Last one. Adding on a little coordination. You're going to lift the heels, lift the magic circle. Lower the heels, lower the circle. Lift both. And 2. Working that balance. Last one. And then lengthening all the way up. Good job. Roll those shoulders. Give those arms a little break. All right, getting a little winded. All right, so we're going to bring that magic circle up overhead. Try not to press here. I just feel like it puts too much tension in your neck, so just loosely grab onto the circle. And then lifting tall, so you're going to think of that lift coming not from the shoulders, but from the ribs lifting up away from your hips. And then you're going to side bend over, reach out to come up, up, sipping from the belly, reach over, reach out to come up, reach out, and over. So you're not just dumping into this side, right? You're not just dumping down. You're still lifting like there's an imaginary ball next to you. And then come up and over. Reach out and come up. Lift tall and over. Reach out and come up. Up to go over and pause. Okay, stay lifted to both sides and then fallen angel here and reach. Last one, and then reach out to come up to go over, reach wide, and then bend and extend. Opening those ribs, those top ribs are opening towards the ceiling. Pull that circle and reach and come up and lower all the way down. Rolling those shoulders out. All right, we're going to go into some standing work. So if you need to, grab a chair or move close to a surface where you can put your hand on, maybe next to your kitchen counter or like my buffet table behind you, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we're going to work our balance. Place a magic circle in between your ankle bones. Walk the feet so it's an oval. Try to make it as small as you can. Hands are just going to go on the hips, lifting nice and tall. Get everything zipping up. Hold parallel. We're going to lift those heels and lower down. And lift and lower. So pressing through the balls of the feet, feeling those foot centers, the big toe and that fourth or fifth toe as you lift. Working through the inner thighs. Again, pelvic floor connection with the top of those inner thighs. Last 2 and 1, and lower those heels. All right, rock towards your right leg. All right, and then just kind of make sure all your weight is on your right leg. So you feel your thigh, the quad, everything is stable on this side. Arms are by your side. You can go all the way out to a T if you'd like. Just want to have all that weight on that right side so that when you lift your left foot off the floor, you can hold your balance. And then you might need to flex that toe a little bit to squeeze it in and release. Big squeeze. Again, check in with this foot, this stable foot, a stable glute and quad and belly up and in. Again, energy all the way up through the crown of the head usually helps with that balance. Then if you find a focus far out in front of you, usually helps. But think of the top of those inner thighs, pelvic floor, zipping up and in to bring those legs together. We're going to squeeze and hold, and then our little pulses for 12. You can always tap that toe down anytime you need if you're losing your balance, or drop that circle if you need. Squeeze and release. All right, let's take a plie and lengthen up. And again, plie and 2 and 1 and good. All right, rock the weight to your left leg. So again, feel this quad, kneecap pulling up, belly up and in, squeeze your glutes, find all your balance on your left side, and then that toe just comes off the floor, and then we squeeze in. Big squeeze, take your time. Try to stay with my pace, right? Not going too fast. Big squeeze, slowly release. And 2, and 1 to hold, and little pulses in, lifting up, up. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. One more big squeeze. Replace that foot. Bend your knees and lengthen. All right, just going to walk the feet. Drop that magic circle. You're going to step inside. Okay, so if you didn't have a magic circle and you're using a ball through that series, then you can just switch to if you have a TheraBand or a belt that you're going to use for the outer thighs. You're going to place the magic circle down at your ankle bones, or if you're using a belt or TheraBand, do it up around your upper thighs, okay? So again, holding nice and tall, we're going to lift the heels and lower. Lift the heels and lower. So pressing through the upper outer thighs. It's not your knees moving out. It's the upper outer thighs working. Again, working through that balance up onto the balls of the feet. Feeling the big toe and that fourth toe. One more. And then again, we're going to shift our weight to the right side. Lifting nice and tall. And then you have that glute. Everything's stable on the right side. You just flex that left foot off the floor. And then press out. Again, anytime you feel like you're losing your balance, you can place your hand on something or just place that foot back on the floor. You can also just leave it and just like lift and lower. Press out and lower. Otherwise, we're trying to hold that balance. And 3, and 2, 1 to hold, and then pulse it out, out, and out through that heel. Keep that parallel position if you can. And press, lower, let's squat it out. Last 2, and 1, lifting tall. Again, shift that weight to that left side, lifting nice and tall. Bring that right foot up off the floor, flexing through that foot, and press out, and press. Really be mindful of that belly scooping up and in. Don't arch through your low back. You don't want this in your back. Press. 4 more here. 3, 2, and 1 to hold. Pulse it out, out. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Press, lower, and let's squat it out. Little release. Good job. All right. So my little trick is I like to hook my foot, flip it up, and catch your magic circle. All right, so that was our standing arm and leg work for today. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon.